It's Tuesday. That means the in-season tournament here on Tuesday, November 26th. We've only got 5 games in the association today, but we, of course, are giving you a prediction for every single one before tomorrow's slate, where literally every team in the NBA plays tomorrow. So that means 15 games on the day before Thanksgiving, Wednesday, November 27th. We'll get to that day, of course, when it comes tomorrow. No games on Thanksgiving, but we've got 5 games today here on for the in-season tournament. Of course, headlined by, I would say, the Los Angeles Lakers, who have never lost an in-season tournament game ever, taking on the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix, Arizona. We'll get to that one at the end of the video, but again, 5 games fill out the NBA slate today on Tuesday. And folks, if you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our 5 best bets for college basketball, and later today, in a couple hours, we will have our college football Week 14 predictions. Guys, that video is 3 hours long. So go make sure to check that video out. Every single team in college football plays this week. It's the final week of the regular season. Every single team plays. In-depth breakdowns of every single college football team basically in the country, and I have my favorite bet for today is one of the first 2 games that we predicted in that video. So go check that video out again in a couple hours here on the channel. Also on the channel, we already have our PFL predictions. Link is in the description for that, for the PFL championship card on Friday in Saudi Arabia, and our NFL predictions coming to the channel tomorrow as well. Okay. All that out the way, let's get into our 5 NBA predictions here for November 26th, excuse me. We start with our first game here. We go to our nation's capital. We've got the Washington Wizards taking on the Chicago Bulls. The Wizards are bad. There's just no other way to put it, guys. I don't know why the Wizards are only getting 4.5 points in this basketball game. It should be a lot more. Chicago, I don't care how bad the Bulls have been. You know what the Bulls have been able to do, guys? They've been able to put up points, and they consistently put up a lot of points. Sure, they don't play great defense, but guys, the Washington Wizards can't beat anybody. So why should we project the Wizards to win a basketball game? I'm serious. I can't trust the Wizards to win. They have 2 wins all year. Their last win came in October in their last victory against the Atlanta Hawks. They have not beat a team this season other than the Atlanta Hawks. Chicago, oh, they're not great. They're 7-11. I completely understand, and I completely agree with you. But they have guys who can win the basketball games. We're talking about Zach LaVine. We're talking about Nikola Jokic, oh my goodness. We're talking about Vucevic. It is 4 a.m. and I'm recording this video, so yes, I butchered that. But LaVine in 3 straight games has scored 27, 26, and 29. I'd expect the Bulls to win this basketball game against the Wizards. I mean, why are the Wizards only getting 4.5 in this game? Oh, Patrick Williams isn't going to play. Don't care. Chicago's the much better basketball team. Again, the Wizards are the worst team in the NBA. What the Detroit Pistons were last season is what the Washington Wizards are this season. If we had to start the playoffs right now, the Chicago Bulls are in at 7-11. Again, it's not going to remain that way, I don't think so. But it's a huge game for Chicago because you got to beat Washington. In terms of the NBA Cup / the in-season tournament, both these teams are in Group C. The Wizards are 0-2, the Bulls are 1-1. The Bulls are kind of already out, so this game really doesn't mean much, but I do expect Chicago to go out here and pick up the victory. Again, Washington can't beat anybody. We know the Bulls at least have hoopers. They've got Zach LaVine. They've got Vucevic. They've got Josh Giddey. They've got Kobe White. They've got guys who can perform. Their bench unit, yeah, it leaves a lot to be desired. Lonzo Ball, obviously, still not back yet for the Bulls, which sucks, but give me Chicago to beat Washington. I'm not concerned at all. Again, guys, the Wizards don't play competitive basketball games, so why are they only getting 4.5 points? It's ridiculous. Give me Chicago to go to the Capital One Arena and take care of the Washington Wizards. To our next game, we go to South Beach. We've got the Miami Heat taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know why. Again, this is another game that feels mispriced to me personally. I don't know why Miami's favorited to win this basketball game. Don't know why they're favorites. Sure, they've won back-to-back games over the Sixers and the Dallas Mavericks. But why are they favorites here against the Bucks? A Bucks team that, again, has figured it out now. They've won 4 straight games. They have won 6 out of their last 7. Their only loss is to the Charlotte Hornets. But 4 straight wins over the Houston Rockets, the Chicago Bulls, the Indiana Pacers, and the Charlotte Hornets. Yes, in this entire 6 out of 7 game win streak, they have not won a game on the road. I completely understand that. This is where the Bucks break that little curse, and they finally win a game on the road. They are going to beat the Miami Heat. Trust me, I think Milwaukee's just the better team. Miami with back-to-back victories, that's great. Jimmy Butler has finally found his footing here in 2024, at least, this part of the 2024 season, obviously. Butler with back-to-back victories for Miami with back-to-back 30-point nights, 30 in the victory over the 76ers, 33 in the win over the Mavericks. And again, yes, it feels like both Miami and Milwaukee have officially gotten going here this season, which is great. But hear me out. Milwaukee, at the strength that we know Giannis Antetokounmpo, we know Damian Lillard can play. You know that supporting cast hopefully finally gets those guys help. At Milwaukee's peak, they are better than what Miami's peak is this year. Let's just be honest. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard, or Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo. Yeah, again, when Chris Middleton comes back, the Bucks are going to be an absolute problem. Right now, they're doing this well without Middleton, and sure, their wins as part of this win streak haven't been all that impressive with the exception of the win over Houston. I get that. This is where they pick up a marquee win. They go to Miami and they pick up this victory. And again, their schedule from here on out until their game against Boston next Friday is fairly easy. You get Washington, you get Detroit, Atlanta, and then you get Boston December 6th. But from here on out, Milwaukee is somewhat of, I wouldn't say an easy schedule, but a manageable schedule. Milwaukee, again, is getting 2.5 points on the road. I think they'll win outright. Milwaukee, again, they are currently the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference at 8-9, which is absolutely insane. In terms of Group B, Milwaukee is 2-0 in the NBA Cup, even with their 8-9 record, and it would be between them and Detroit to get out of Group B as the Group B winner. They would be eliminating the Miami Heat with a victory here, and I think that's what they do. Give me the Milwaukee Bucks to go to Florida and take down the Miami Heat, one step closer to advancing back to the Final Four for the second straight season in the in-season tournament. Next up, we go to the Target Center here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We've got the Minnesota Timberwolves at home against the Houston Rockets. The Rockets' regression is finally starting. And you know what? I've been waiting for it all season long. Not like I've been praying on the Houston Rockets' downfall or nothing, but I've just been saying, I don't think this Houston team's all that great. I don't think the Rockets are going to be able to continue what they've been doing, game in and game out. And you know what? We finally have something we can point our finger out and say, got English. We can point our finger out and say, you know what? This is where the downfall of the Houston Rockets in 2024 and 2025 started. We can say, they started 12-5, but you know what? Fred VanVleet telling the referee, you a bitch, is now, that's the start of the downfall. I'm serious. That's the start of it. Because now here we go. VanVleet gets fined $50,000 for that. Now they play Minnesota. Then they go tomorrow on the road against I wouldn't say a red-hot Sixers team, but a Sixers team that has the Rookie of the Year, Jared McCain, and they're figuring things out. Then after Thanksgiving, they come back, they play the Thunder, they play the Kings, they play the Warriors, they play the Clippers. These are some rough games the Rockets have coming up. This is a brutal stretch. Again, good for them. They're 12-6, but their first 18 games were not against the toughest opponents. And again, they are coming off a loss. Their third loss, I was thinking of the Timberwolves. Their second loss, their second game back-to-back against the Trailblazers. They win the first game. They lose the second game at home at the Toyota Center in Houston. And they are taking on a Timberwolves team that lost back-to-back games earlier on in the season against the Portland Trailblazers, which was ridiculous. They lost both those games in Portland. But I think Minnesota rebounds here. I get it. Again, since that Portland back-to-back, embarrassment in Portland, they beat the Sacramento Kings in overtime. Obviously, that game where De'Aaron Fox went off, but Minnesota still won. Then they beat the Phoenix Suns, and then again, back-to-back losses to the Raptors and the Celtics on the road. But you know what? Minnesota returns home for this game, and that's a big deal. The Timberwolves are back at home, and I'd expect them to win this basketball game. They are at pretty much full strength for this game. I think Minnesota gets it done again. I've been waiting on the Rockets to kind of fall off. It's not because of the VanVleet thing. I just made a joke out of that. But I do think, again, the Rockets finally see their regression here, considering their schedule and that loss to the Trailblazers in their last game, giving the Minnesota Timberwolves to take care of this game. They will go now to 9-8. Currently, if the playoffs started today, the Timberwolves would actually be on the outside looking in the Western Conference, which is crazy. In terms of Group A, the Rockets are 2-0, the Timberwolves are 1-1, and Minnesota now puts themselves in first place in the group. Actually, is the tiebreaker point differential or head-to-head? It's gotta be head-to-head, right? It has to be. Yeah. Give me Minnesota to pick up the victory. They will beat they'll beat the Rockets and go to 2-1 here in Group A in the Western Conference. Next up, we move on to the Utah Jazz and the San Antonio Spurs. So two teams that are very familiar with each other. I swear, this is the fourth time we've talked about the Jazz and the Spurs this season, because I think it is their fourth game. It is. Why are they playing 4 times in the first 18 games? Over a fifth of the Spurs and Jazz's games have been against each other. Why? Do they play the rest of the season? Is this it? This is the last time these two teams played the entire year. Why do they play 4 times in the first 18 games? Who made this schedule? But okay, we have, games that we can talk about here. Game 1 between the Spurs and the Jazz. October 31st, Halloween, the Spurs win the game by 18 points. Game 2, November 9th, the Spurs lose by 1 point at home. November 21st, back in San Antonio, the Spurs win by 8 points. I don't know. I can't trust the Utah Jazz. I get it. They're coming off a win over the Knicks. Good for them. Lauri Markkanen. Again, we talked about Jimmy Butler finally finding his footing with the Miami Heat coming off an injury. Well, Lauri Markkanen has now finally found his footing coming off this injury for the Utah Jazz. That's great and all. The Utah Jazz, A, don't play defense, and B, don't have much of a supporting cast around Markkanen. Sure, Colin Sexton's going to have his nights. John Collins is going to have his nights. Jordan Clarkson will have his nights, but there's no consistency. Yes, Lauri in the last 3 games against the Lakers, Spurs, and Knicks, he's been great. But it's just him, and the Jazz don't play defense. They give up so many points. I just think it's extremely difficult for Utah to consistently win basketball games. They've already lost twice this season to San Antonio. Hell, let's make it 3. Give me the San Antonio Spurs to beat the Utah Jazz. The game is in Utah. I don't think that plays too much of a difference. No Devin Vassell for the Spurs, but if Victor Wembanyama is playing, and hell, Harrison Barnes, who's coming off of winning the Western Conference Player of the Week, yes, in the big 2024, Harrison Barnes is winning Player of the Week awards, I think the the San Antonio Spurs should be fine. Again, my fault, but it is, I'll show you. It's, it's 4 in the morning. That's my fault. But yes, give me the San Antonio Spurs to beat the Utah Jazz. Again, outside of Lauri, I don't know what we can trust on here with the Jazz. I know we can trust in Wemby to have a big night. He shows up when the lights are brightest, at least so far in his young career. And again, I like this San Antonio squad a lot more than I do Utah. San Antonio's got a winning record. They're 9-8. Utah, sure, they won their last game, but they're still 4-12. Okay? They're both in what? Group B. Utah's 0-2. San Antonio's going to be 2-1, so Utah will be 0-3. Hey, San Antonio is going to put themselves in a spot where, actually, no, they already lost to the Lakers. So, this is kind of the Lakers group to lose at this point. Which brings me to our next game and our final game, the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Phoenix Suns. So yes, the Lakers have never lost an in-season tournament game. They went, 4-0 last year in group play. They beat the New Orleans Pelicans in Las Vegas, and then they beat the Indiana Pacers in the final. This year they're 2-0, so that means the Los Angeles Lakers are 7-0 all-time in the in-season tournament. They are the only team that can claim again they are undefeated all-time in the IST. The Lakers are the 4 seed right now in the Western Conference, and they go on the road to Phoenix to take on the number 7 seeded currently in the Western Conference, Phoenix Suns. Now, I joked a couple weeks ago, or when Kevin Durant first got hurt, that, Durant's going to magically come back for the Lakers game, and Bradley Beal is going to magically come back for the Lakers game. They've been out for weeks, but you know what? They're just going to pop back up for the Lakers game. You know what happened? They're actually back for the Lakers game. Just, it's so dumb. I get why guys want to play the Los Angeles Lakers, but of all the games, you got to come back to play the Lakers. Durant's been out since November 8th, so you know what? He's going to come back and play the Lakers. It's just so stupid. It's so stupid because the Suns they're just a different team without Kevin Durant. I'm not going to say Durant's their entire team, but he's their best player. Bradley Beal, has not been great this season, but of all games that he has to return, let's come back and play the Lakers. Guys, both these guys are not going to play tomorrow when they play the Nets. They're both going to sit out, which, woohoo, we get to take Brooklyn to cover the spread again. But I mean, it's just, I'm sick of it, man. I'm so sick of it. If you couldn't tell, I'm a Lakers fan. I've said that before, but I don't know. I'm taking the Lakers because they don't lose in the in-season tournament, but it's frustrating right now with the Lakers. I'm very close to picking against the Lakers for the first time in the season. the losses to Orlando and to Denver really hurt. But you know what? I know something about the Lakers, is that they will show up when the in-season tournament happens. Now, we did see these two teams play earlier this season in Phoenix, and the Suns won by 4. That was LeBron's, though, literally worst game ever as a Los Angeles Laker, and they still only lost the game by 4 points. These two teams played earlier in the year, October 25th. It was the game the Lakers came back and won the game by 7 points. AD again dropped 35 and 8. And Anthony Davis, again, one of the best players in the NBA. I'm cooling off on the MVP talks for now because of those back-to-back free throws missed in the Orlando game. But it's just, why is KD back for this game? I'm still taking the Lakers. LeBron's played his ass off in every single IST game that I've seen. The last IST game for the Lakers, Dalton Connect showed up and scored 37 points. So, you know what? I'm just going to keep riding the Lakers here on the in-season tournament. 3.5-point dogs, that's fine. Keep your damn points. We want the Lakers to win, okay? Guys, again, Phoenix, I know they've been without Beal and Durant, but they have lost 5 games in a row now to the Kings, Thunder, Timberwolves, Magic, and Knicks. Again, KD is back. Beal is back. But they're going right back into the Wolves, and they get right into a game here with the Lakers for a game that matters in the regular season, an NBA Cup game. And at what strength are they going to be at immediately being inserted back into the lineup, okay? Give me the Lakers to win this basketball game. I like LeBron, KD, and AR. Or not KD. LeBron, AD, and AR. And you know what? D'Angelo Russell. I'm sick of D'Angelo Russell. So, I'm not. If I don't have anything nice to say about D'Lo, I'm not going to say it. Give me the Lakers to win the game. They will cover the 3.5 points, and they will win the game outright, remaining undefeated in the NBA Cup all time. And I believe it wouldn't clinch them a spot yet in the next round of the playoffs or the next round of the in-season tournament, but they'd be 3-0. The only other team that could touch them, obviously, is the only team that they haven't played yet in the IST. That is the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are currently 1-1 in the in-season tournament. So, folks, that'll do it for our NBA predictions here on November 26th. We are going with the Lakers to go to Phoenix in the nightcap and win against the Suns. Thank y'all for watching, folks. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow again for more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.